Hey everybody, this is Mad Matt Carter. Thank you so much for watching the AIWF Network YouTube channel as well as the AIWF Ringside Wrestling channel. If you like what you see, please do us a big favor. Hit that like button, hit subscribe, and ring that bell to get notifications every time we post new videos on both our channels. It means a lot to us, and thanks a lot for watching once again. Hi wrestling fans, and welcome to another hopefully riveting, compelling, I'm out of adjectives, edition of AIWF Ringside. Thought-provoking, yes. It will be thought-provoking because we're going to jump into a controversial issue right off the bat tonight. I know you're not looking forward to this, Reagan. Did you read the article? Did you?
I did, but I'm just going to stay out of it, I guess. I don't know.
Well,
we'll see.
Well, it's combat sports related, and we talk about trying to do this show with integrity and not providing clickbait. Stephen Hayes and I were just talking about, what some of my strategies for thumbnails are on YouTube and how we try not to be exploitive. If you come to us, you get what you pay for, which is nothing because it's free. But we advertise wrestling. We advertise this as a talk show. Every now and then I'll play around with a thumbnail and put something that's a little disingenuous up there and get extra views, but it's not enough that it's like paying my light bill. And it's just with all the people on YouTube now using thumbnails and AI, to make these thumbnails that are not related to whatever their video is. It's just like, it gives me a bad feeling on the inside.
Yeah, welcome to the New World Order, but not in the fun way.
No, it's more like the Terminator way.
I don't know. Actually, I don't know which is worse.
Well,
Hogan might be worse than the real New World Order.
Who?
Odor. I said the Larry Zbyszko thing. New World Order.
New World Order. All right. So anyway, welcome to Ringside Wrestling. I'm Matt Carter, being joined as always by Brian and Reagan Danzig and Stephen Hayes. Rick Diesel is out and about with the food truck somewhere. I think he may have told me where he was located, but I either wasn't paying attention or forgot.
Is this the Fiddlers Convention?
It might be, yeah. It might be. It might be. Yeah, that's right. It is the Fiddlers Convention. The Galax Fiddlers Convention is this weekend. And so, boy, I'll tell you what, you want to talk about people getting together just to sit around and drink all night. Boy, I'm going to tell you what, a lot of that goes on up there. And but
it's about all that goes on up there.
I was going to say, there's a lot of other extra stuff going on there. Remember, this is the hippies.
Yeah.
And it's legal now.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You can smoke weed now in Virginia. So, yeah, that'll add an element to it. But you know what? The music is always good. And I had a friend of mine, he's since passed on, yes, that would go every year. And like during the Fiddlers Convention, he would go up and find somebody jamming by their campfire after the competitions was over with and just call me and let me hear the song and then hang up. And then about 3 or 4 minutes later, he'd call me again. Hello, like that. And another song would play. And so that was really cool. You hear some good music out in the campgrounds at night.
Very
good. I had a friend who sang it at one time in the amateur part of it.
Mm-hmm.
She who shall not be named, apparently.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's been, like we said, we try to give you what you come for, and that's wrestling. But this is combat sports related. And I feel like that we're always, at least I'm always cautioning you on double checking shit you see on the internet before you click on it or believe it. And I myself did not do that this week. I believe something that was going around because it sounded right and because of my mistrust of the IOC. See Munich. If you have any questions about that, if you don't know what happened at the 72 Olympics, look it up because I have a real mistrust for them. They're doing great this year, though. Ever since they got that guy that was getting paid off by the Russians, they seem to have kind of cleaned their act up a little bit.
That was the problem with the other governing board of this story, is they were run by one of Putin's very close associates.
Yeah. Well, they had, and see, so, all right. So I figured this out today because I noticed between this article about who's running the boxing and like you notice at the basketball, you see FIBA, right? So they govern the basketball, the 5-on-5 anyway. And then when I was watching the volleyball, the beach volleyball today, which the Americans won in round of 16, move on. Good job,
God, it was
California
such a
girls.
good match. That's one of the best matches so far.
Yeah, that sport's really exciting. I really like it. They but I noticed there was a logo in the corner with one of the judges, right? And so I guess what the Olympics does, and somebody, if I'm wrong, correct me in the comments, but they outsource the governance of certain sports to different groups because, I mean, how many people are on the IOC? Not enough to run 50 different tournaments in the same place over 2 weeks, I would imagine.
I wonder though if it's those are the governing bodies of not the Olympics. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, you have the governing body, but then when the Olympics comes around, then you have to meet the criteria of the IOC.
Yeah, which is, yeah, I think is right. But it's like, okay, say I'm the IOC, right? All right. Well, I'm good at running track and field. That's logistically what my crew can do, right? We know how to put on a track and field show. But I need to do basketball because that's one of the events. And Reagan is an expert at basketball. She's FIBA. So, hey, Reagan, I'll pay you this much to come and run the basketball tournament for me. Fine. Stephen Hayes, you're an expert at golf. Hey, I need you to manage the golf tournaments for me. Come in, I'll give you this much to take care of the golf. You know, each sport has a different sanctioning body. They all report to the IOC, but the IOC, I don't think, is directly in control of them at all times. So, anyway, so this is from ABS CBN News. You know, there was a lot of talk going around the internet about a transgender person being allowed to beat up women in the boxing ranks, and it turns out that's not true at all. Listen to this. A scandal has engulfed the boxing at the Paris Olympics after an Algerian woman boxer who previously failed a gender eligibility test stopped her opponent after 46 seconds. AFP takes a look at the scrap, which is spread far outside the ring, but is more complicated than it first appears, even with the Olympic officials admitting that it's a, quote, minefield. Yeah, I would say that's a good analogy.
Well, I even think your article doesn't even have all the information in it.
No, it doesn't. It was written on Thursday. I just thought at the time it was well written enough that I would use it. Algerian boxer Iman Khelif, I think is how you say that, Khelif, 25, boxing in the 66 kg category, which I don't know how many pounds that is, because I don't know the metric system because I was educated in this country. And 28-year-old Taiwan's Lin Yuting fighting at 57 kg. The row erupted after Khelif won her bout against Italy's Angela Carini in just 46 seconds with two strong punches to the Italian's nose that started bleeding profusely. Both Khelif and Lin were disqualified from the 2023 World Championships in New Delhi, run by the International Boxing Association, IBA, after failing to meet eligibility criteria. However, both competed in the Tokyo Olympics and were cleared to fight in Paris. Both. They've fought in the Olympics before. What was the eligibility test? I love this writer. Let me see who wrote this. Agents Francie Pressy, Richard Carter. That don't sound like Filipino names, but okay. Good writing here. This is where things start to get murky. The IBA said in a statement the athletes did not undergo a testosterone examination, but were subject to a separate and recognized test. However, the specifics of the test remain confidential. Lin did not appeal the decision, notes the IBA. Khelif did take her case to a court of arbitration for sport, but then withdrew the appeal. The IBA said the test conclusively indicated that both failed to meet the required eligibility criteria and had a, quote, an competitive advantage over the other female competitors. At the time, Khelif says she had been told she had, quote, characteristics that mean I can't box with women, unquote. Boy, that's painting with a broad brush and really vague. Claiming she was a victim of a, quote, big conspiracy. Keller's profile on the Paris 2024 media information site initially said she'd been disqualified from the World Championships over elevated levels of testosterone, but that was later removed. Yeah, she could probably sue you over something like that. International Olympic Committee spokesman Mark Adams said it was a fact that this reason was the reason, but said the IBA had been made a had made a, quote, sudden and arbitrary decision to disqualify the boxers. Adams said the IOC's own criteria was the gender indicated on the boxers' passports, but acknowledged it's not a black and white issue. Measuring testosterone is unsatisfactory, he told reporters. There are many women with higher levels than men, so the idea that a testosterone test is some kind of magic bullet is not true. Is this a transgender issue, the article then asked. No, neither boxer is known to identify as transgender, and the IOC has lashed out at incorrect reporting to that effect. I should make this absolutely clear to everyone. This is not a transgender issue. These women have been competing in competitions for many years, said Adams. He warned about turning the scandal into a, quote, witch hunt, adding, this involves real people, and we're talking about real people's lives here. Calif told UNICEF in an interview earlier this year that she got into boxing after evading punches from boys who were threatened by her footballing prowess. That makes sense. Big girl, good at soccer. The boys want to beat her up. She learns to fight to defend herself. Lynn attributes questions, this is the other one, over her gender to a short hairstyle and height. She is 1.75 meters tall. If I wore my hair long, I would have to spend too much time tending to it, she told CNA, Taiwan's semi-official news agency. So I watched boxing in those divisions yesterday because they were filling out the other side of the bracket that they started with on Tuesday when this whole thing happened. And to say there's some women in those divisions that have manly type features would be accurate. You know, I'm not going to be so mean and call them ugly, but you know, it's just they've got those type features. So I see where that mistake could have been made. All in all, I need to take a dose of my own medicine and not believe shit I read on the internet, on social media, because I was a little pissed off at first because of my mistrust with the IOC, and it sounds like something they would do. But in my defense, I just watched the movie One Day in September about the 1972 Munich Olympics and how them and the German government bungled and covered up a terrorist attack or kidnapping, and it was just a mess. And so, you know, I was not in the right frame of mind to analyze that. And so, hey, if it can happen to you, it can happen to me. So anyway, so they're actually girls, nothing to worry about here. I don't know if the Italian boxer knew that because she cried and left the ring without shaking hands or anything.
And you know she got paid.
Huh?
They paid her. The Italian government paid her the winner's purse.
Did they?
Yeah.
Like if she would have won the gold?
Yes.
Wow.
Yep. That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, see, Algeria, it's illegal to be transgender.
That's what I was going to say. It's illegal to be trans and gay in Algeria.
Yeah. So
I mean, they would not present I'm just going to say, and I don't want to get into like all the politics and back and forth stuff about trans athletes. I don't want to get into that. But what I do want to say is I want to talk about advantages and disadvantages. I wish I knew who the people were, but I saw a picture of a judo fight, and the one guy was at least 4 times bigger than the guy he was taking on, because I guess they don't do weight classes in judo.
I have no idea. I watched.
But yeah, the pic, and then the Chinese basketball team against the women. The tallest player on the Chinese basketball team was 6'1". The tallest basketball player, Brittany Griner, I don't know how to say her, Griner, is almost 7 foot tall. Those are advantages. Michael Phelps burns lactic acid faster than most people. That is a genetic advantage. I mean, that's all I'm gonna say, because I don't want to get into it, because
just from different things I've been seeing and reading on the internet, basically what a lot of experts are saying is that like you said about the testosterone test not being a magic bullet, there is no magic bullet. There is no one test to say this is a woman, or this is a woman, this is a man. there.
Well, there's one test, but you shouldn't do that because it'd be mean.
Well, no, because
let me see your pecker.
There's intersex people. There's
That's
people
true.
who there's people who have male genitalia that have female organs. There are people who have female. Did I already say that have the external genitalia of the sex that they are not inside their bodies,
Right?
And that does happen. And
although that's rare, though, right? I mean, that's like
rare.
It is rare.
The whole, but so is the other stuff.
Well, and so is transgender people. They're very rare too.
It's only 2%,
right,
of if that many of a population.
But again, the from what I read, the Olympic Committee has like a I don't know, maybe 10 or 12 point criteria that they have to whether or not you can compete in the women's division of a of competitions. But I feel bad for the athletes for this whole controversy that it's tainted. The one girl, she won her fight in 45 seconds. She punched her in the face, and the girl's like, I've never been hit that hard in my life. She should be, that should have been a great thing for her, but instead it caused this big controversy and tainted her win. But it shouldn't be, that you can't just take, I do feel bad for them that this happened, but the one good thing about it is it is bringing to attention people who think that that it's just this line of this is a man, this is a woman. It's not that simple. I mean, you ask any medical professional, they'll tell you that there are, like Reagan was saying, there's all these exceptions and there's different different things. People are born with different parts, male parts on the inside, female on the outside.
Or sometimes both.
Both. Sometimes they're born with both. And so you can't say that this is a man, this is a woman all the time. That's the way it is most of the time. Like, most of us are very lucky in that we're born. Like, there's a part of your brain that tells you you're male, you're female. Most of the time, most of us are lucky enough that part also matches what you were born with as far as your genitalia. And most of us are born that way, and most of us are very lucky in that. Some people aren't. Some people, their brain tells them they're female, but they were born with male genitalia. And I mean, that's just how it is. And then some people are born and their brain doesn't really tell them one way or the other. I mean, it's just, and until there's a lot about the human brain that we don't know. But they do know this. They do know that just like there's a part of your brain that that controls your appetite and all this. There's parts of your brain that tell you who you're attracted to, and then there's a part of your brain that tells you what sex you are. So it is. It's a very complicated thing, but I think the good thing about this controversy is that it's shedding light on the fact that that it's not just a straight line.
Well, if you see that boxer in that same division, in the women's division, and I do watch Olympic boxing because it doesn't get covered on TV that much in this country, and I do enjoy it because it's 3 rounds. It's real quick. If the fight's terrible, don't worry. It's not going to be out there very long, and when they get near the end, it gets really exciting because you've got the cream of the crop because those tournaments, so many people enter those tournaments. But if you're one of those people Brian was talking about, get in touch with us. we've got trailers. We'll put you in a trailer, drive you around the South, charge $10 a gander, and we'll all make a fortune. I'm just joking.
Well, I want to say one thing. The hypocrisy of this is what got me. This is what got me about it.
Mm-hmm.
There were people who were saying, if this person is born female but is a trans male, they should be fighting men. Which is, the hypocrisy of that is shocking. Because what do most people say? Fight in the category of the sex you were assigned at birth.
Mm-hmm.
But then they're going to turn around and say, oh, even if she's born female and she's taken T and she's transitioning to male, she should fight men.
Mm-mm.
And
Mm-mm.
I mean, that.
No.
And it's such.
That is one of the stupidest theories I have ever heard in my entire life.
I'm trying to find the statistics of this, of the number of transgendered athletes is probably 1% or less. And I don't know, I'm trying to find the statistics, but this is not a thing that happens hardly at all. Hardly at all. But the reason we think it happens all the time is because, I mean, I hate to say, of stories like this.
Yeah.
They get thrown out there with a knee-jerk reaction. Everybody starts posting it. Nobody pays attention. Somebody sees a meme. Somebody sees a TikTok. That's all they look at. It took me 10 seconds to find an article that was very similar to yours that set everything out about who she was, how long she'd been boxing, who disqualified her, that the test, they won't even come out and say what the test is. And I was like, okay. And then there were still people, once it came out that everything they knew was wrong, they still doubled down on it. And was like, I'm with her. Well, there's no reason. You know what I'm with her about? Quit fucking boxing if you can't take 2 punches to the nose.
Yeah. I mean, that's true.
Also, the trans athletes, it is very rare, but they are out there. There are trans people competing in the Olympics. And the reason they don't make that there's not this big story about them is because they don't dominate. It does not give them. I saw an article about there's a trans man boxing. Nobody cares about that. Mm-hmm. If he was born female, that is competing as a male, and nobody has a problem with that.
Well, this isn't a trans issue. This is not believing the bullshit you read on the internet.
People made it.
Yeah.
They used this issue to attack trans people.
When it wasn't even a trans person.
Right.
Or a trans situation.
Right.
It's just, but like I said, my thing that made it sort of a trans issue was that argument that I just gave, that if she was transitioned, she should be fighting men. When the whole time But anyway, I think I handled that very well.
Yeah.
So,
and
I'm not going to go into, some people know why I have strong feelings about it. Some people don't. That's all I'm going to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just doing a little fact checking here real quick. But the internet's running slow, so I'm pulling on it too hard. But anyway, we wanted to cover that because it was combat sports and it was newsworthy. And I know, I very rarely see anybody on this panel get hot about anything on social media, but it happened, and so I figured it needed to be addressed, so we could get that out there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, here we go. Brian, this athlete you're talking about, Nikki Hiltz, a transgender and non-binary athlete, will be competing in the 1,500-meter race as the U.S. record holder in the mile and 2023 national champion in the 1,500 meter, and I was watching track and field today and nobody said jack shit about it. I don't think anybody really cares, I mean.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just one of those things like, who the hell cares about who boxes in the world at 145? Like the people that, let's put it this way, there are the people who were posting this nonsense. Mm-hmm. I mean, could they even name one thing about 145 boxers in the Olympics.
No,
No.
as usual, they couldn't. No.
I mean, if they don't know, I mean, because these are like, oh, I mean, they might be like, oh, it's what's that guy's name? Oh, Manny Pacquiao, or oh, doesn't Muhammad Ali's daughter box? Like that's the kind of if they even knew that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
anyway.
you ask them who the wrestling champion is, they still tell you Hulk Hogan.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
Okay.
so don't be an idiot like me. Don't believe shit until you look into it on the internet. And Reagan was right. Once I started digging, I found a news article from the UK in less than 10 minutes, and then found that in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, the UK one is what I found.
Yeah, so.
But it's just don't believe. This goes for every single person. I'm just talking about everybody. Just take a second, step back, and just do a little research. It's not that hard. Not that hard.
People don't want to think. People don't want to think.
Don't.
And I'll tell you this, the one thing the Olympics has shown me this year, I have seen such great sportsmanship, except for that one lady in track and field today who tried to swat at a girl passing her. Little kind of made me feel a little down a little bit. But other than that, man, I mean, everybody's been friendly. Hell, the U.S. and Chinese swimming teams shook hands after China won the gold medal today.
And so, there's a picture of North Korea and South Korea taking a selfie together.
Yeah. So
hopefully that works out for the North Koreans, but
yeah, because it's not the citizens that are the problem. It's not these athletes that have a problem with each other.
No, it's the ruling class in every country, including this one. So
yeah.
I've worked up a heat. I got to go get some drink. Move on. Move on.
Yeah, well, I'm going to move on. I'm going to read a couple of ads anyway, so you guys can just chill, and then we'll start talking about wrestling. But anyway, don't believe the internet. Not accurate. Let's see. Premier Auto Detailing, hands down, they're the best car cleaning service in town. Can you guys see the slideshow?
No.
No? Okay. Yeah, it might help to hit share screen. It usually does the trick. Let's see here. All right. How about now?
There we go.
All right. And so Premier Auto Detailing, hands down the best car cleaning service in town. Call 336-736-2638 for more information. They can do fleet services, or just if you don't like to wash your car, you're like me. I don't like to wash a car. Just don't like to do it. Rather pay somebody else to do it. And you can do that by calling them up. They work around the Mount Airy, Surrey County area. They are available to help you with whatever situation you need. If it is residential, individual vehicles, or you have a fleet, like you got a used car lot and you don't want to hire a new person just to wash cars, well, they can help you out with that. 336-736-2638, Premier Auto Detailing, and we thank them for their continued support. Tees Creations, custom apparel, sweatshirts, t-shirts, hoodies. Man, they got it all. They even got the front license plates, like there you see Tristan Tile with a cow. Looks like Daisy, the old Gordon cow. Or was that Seal Test? I don't know. The Tees Creations 22.com. Tees Creations by Allied Apparel on Facebook. TikTok Tees Creations. They're also on Shopify. They're everywhere. Any type of custom t-shirt or apparel need that you have, you reach out to them. They'll help you out. They're also taking care of the merchandise for AIWF Mid-Atlantic. So if you're one of the regulars that comes and wrestles with us, we encourage you to talk to Tees Treats and get that new t-shirt design ready to rock and roll. And they can help you out, make a few extra bucks when you're at the show. Tees Creations. Come on and check them out. All right. Here's our schedule for the rest of the year for AIWF Mid-Atlantic. August the 10th, Veterans Park. That's coming up next weekend. We're looking forward to that. Oh, boy. And what a big card we got. And we got some new faces here. But Will got mixed up on where the slideshow was. So, yeah, if you want to sponsor the shows, $10 a month. Pretty cheap, man. We got the headlock on high advertising wrestling prices. Can't beat us. I mean, can't beat it. You get your copy put in and your contact information put in every video we post on YouTube in the description. It's really a lot of bang for the buck. Only $10 a month gets you readings like you hear. Anything fancier is going to have to go up a little bit, but yeah, $10 a month, and you can get a fabulous read like you just heard. All right, here we go, guys. It's time for us to preview the big event coming up next weekend. $8 for the floor, $6 for bleachers. Going to be a lot of fun. The show starts at 7 or a few minutes after, depending. We'll see how it goes. And we've pretty much got the whole card together. The Mid-Atlantic Tag Team Champions have agreed to appear in Mount Airy, but they have one demand. That's all the slide says. I don't know what that is.
You just never know with Corey. His demands, I mean, we've seen what his demands have been before. We've seen him read from a blank piece of paper.
Yeah, that was creepy. He asked me to come in the ring for that. I was scared to death. Brian will tell you, I did not want to go in there.
I mean,
I don't blame you.
I mean, you just don't ever know. I mean, you just don't know.
Yeah, it'll be very. I'm very interested to see what this demand is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So, again, this Saturday night, Veterans Park, come on out. Looking forward to seeing you. Here's an interesting match. I'm looking really forward to this since the announcement of its signing. Logan Quindell, who's been on getting warm here in the Mid-Atlantic, and so is Jackson Sane. They're going to go one-on-one, and who knows if Jezebeth is going to bring a pet to the ring this week. I don't know, but
never know. Jackson Sane still has his streak of never being pinned or submitted in the AIWF Mid-Atlantic. He has had a couple of disqualifications, but no one has yet pinned his shoulders to the mat for a 3 count or making him submit. I don't know if that's even possible. as crazy as he is, I think your only chance would be to maybe a quick. I mean, if anybody could get a quick roll up on Jackson Sane, I think it could be Logan Quindell. But I thought the same of Aaron Action Jackson too in Jackson Sane's last matchup.
Mm-hmm.
And now, to be fair, if it hadn't have been for the interference of Jezebeth, he may very well have won that match. So Logan is going to have to watch out for that as well.
Yep, because she didn't have any pets with her last time, and if she doesn't have any animals to hold on to, she's got both hands free to interfere. So,
the thing about her is she's so quiet, and so she doesn't draw a lot of attention to herself during the matchup like a lot of managers do, and that's to her advantage, because I think a lot of times, instead of being a distraction throughout the whole matchup, like somebody like Seth Burns, she just kind of sits out there, and I think the opponent forgets she's out there, and then just at the right moment is when she when she interjects herself, and that has really been to Jackson Sane's advantage since they came to the AIWF Mid-Atlantic.
You got that right. I never thought about that before, but she usually just stands over there in her corner until it's time to strike, and you don't even notice her there. I mean, she just kind of blends in, which she does wear kind of camouflage type gear, but dark green and black, and because she kind of just blends in. And it'll be interesting to see what happens in this match. I'm really looking forward to it. Let's see what else we got on this card, because now here's an interesting one. We've got Adrian Action Jackson against Victor Krause. And Victor Krause is not liked by the Mount Airy crowd. Now he's German, or born in Germany or raised in the U.S., I think is what it is.
Yeah, I think he. I don't know exactly when. I just know that he now lives in the U.S. I don't know exactly when he. I don't know exactly when he moved, but I know he's very proud of his German heritage, which there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being proud of where you're from, but he's one of those people who kind of comes in and denigrates the U.S. while waving his German flag, and then that's where people have the issue. with
Yeah,
him.
yeah. Let's be clear. He is not a Nazi sympathizer. by
No,
any stretch of the
no,
imagination.
no. We should be very clear on that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's long in the past. Germany did a really good job of accepting what happened, acknowledging it, and being like, we're not doing that again.
Mhm.
You know, a German person's more likely to punch a Nazi in the face than anybody.
Yeah, if you even
it-
do a goose step in Germany, it's like a criminal offense. You can be jailed
Mhm.
for it.
Yes.
So, ask
Yeah,
Bradshaw at
not do
WWE. He knows.
And we haven't seen that since Baron von Roski, right? Hopefully.
Mhm.
Yeah. If you were going to do that, if you were going to steal, but even he did the goose step, but he never claimed to be a Nazi. You know,
No,
Right.
no. It's,
he had
I
the
think
look. He had the look, but
he did have to look.
monocle and all.
Do you know that he was a high school teacher? Like while he was doing that,
I think I'd heard that.
isn't that
I know that-
fascinating?
I know George the Animal Steel was a teacher.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
he was too. I don't remember what he taught, but he was also a teacher while doing
Yeah.
that gimmick. So, but back to this Action Jackson, like I know this is only his second match in the AIWF, but he was so impressive for his debut.
He was.
I think I said this last week. I've never seen somebody new come in and win over the Mount Airy crowd. I mean, anybody that's come in to Mount Airy new or coming back after a hiatus, they know how hard it is to win over our fans because our fans expect a lot.
Mhm.
They come to watch it, they're loyal, and they expect you to wow them. And if you don't, they don't like you. And he got them in less than a minute. I was thoroughly impressed, and I was thoroughly impressed with his wrestling ability.
Mhm.
I cannot wait to see where this guy goes.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. And he's put together, so the girls love to ogle him. So you can tell he spends a lot of time in a gym just by this photo.
Yeah.
But when you come see him wrestle in person, you'll really be impressed.
Yeah.
Here's a couple of guys. Man, that Cam Isaac looks familiar, but I don't think I've ever seen Dante Khalifa before. Are these newcomers, both of them, or
They are.
They are. I
Okay.
don't, are we, they're from a wrestling school in Charlotte.
oh, okay, which one? Lodi? George South.
Yeah.
Lodi's.
Lodi's.
Okay.
I didn't know if I was allowed to. I didn't know what I was.
Yeah, you can.
Boss Man's on here, so what's it? Yes, these are a couple of guys who were trained by Lodi, I believe. So
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, he had been, Boss Man had been talking with Lodi ever since the last time he came and worked on a show up there about, does any of his students need ring time? And he was like, oh, yeah, and so that'll be nice to see. They'll get to come up and work in front of a very raw crowd. They will definitely find out if they got what it takes to start working their way up in the wrestling business. That's for sure.
Throw them in the deep end.
Yeah. Well, you got to start wrestling in front of people, man. You got to have reps. You heard Triple H talking.
I think we're a good crowd to learn to wrestling. I feel like what I love about our audience is they are into it and they are honest and they come to be involved. They come to be entertained, and they are we say this all the time. They are so good. So y'all got something. Not just work, not just having a match together and putting that together, but got to impress our fans.
Yep, got to get them reps. I mean, you even heard Triple H talking about it last night in the press conference. I don't know if you watched the press conference, but he was talking about how these days you don't have the territory system where you can go out and wrestle 7 times, 8 times a week and get your reps in and improve real quick. If you're working independence, you might be able to wrestle 2-3 times. And his goal with working with TNA is to make sure these young kids have other places to go and get reps. It's not just them wrestling on TV and 2 house shows a week. He wants to be able to get them as many reps as possible. Can they do as many reps as they did in the territory days? No. That's unfortunate. But he felt like it was his duty to do whatever he could to get the kids nowadays the most reps. And I thought that was really refreshing. So,
Yeah.
hey, you never know, man. Maybe it'll be 2 or 3 different smaller minor league, but I mean, we're kind of an entry level. You break into the business in the AIWF Mid-Atlantic. If there was more TNA level type promotions around the country that had, a big TV presence, and there were actual territories, that would be nice. But I don't see that. Wrestling's so niche right now. It's more popular than it has been, but it's still, I don't know, a whole territory system. Well, Kevin Phoenix is coming back. Last time I saw him post social media, he was working an outdoor fair somewhere in the UK.
Yeah, he's been the last update is he had won the organization's belt, and then whoever he wrestled has the TV belt right now.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I should have been more prepared with information.
Yeah. Well, we did see him walk out on Power Slap on the first episode. Now, has there been another episode of Power Slap, and did anybody on this panel watch it? I did not.
I've been so obsessed with the Olympics, I have not watched anything but last night's pay-per-view. That's it. So
yeah, Olympic Games. Yeah. So Kevin Phoenix will be coming back. It'll be good to have him back and hear his stories from Las Vegas. I probably won't believe anything that comes out of his mouth, but no, it'll be good to hear the stories anyway. No, just kidding. Or am I?
Oh yeah, he has looks like he won it back. He won a championship with PWL, Pro Wrestling Live in the UK, but it looks like at the end of whatever match he had, he was laid out in the ring and someone laid the belt over top of him while a child looked like he's laughing at him. They were laughing at him.
That's funny. That's funny. Kevin Phoenix, it'll be good to see you again. Here's a man I'm personally afraid of and try to just stay away from, Lazarus Black, who I was hoping was never coming back to the Mid-Atlantic, but here he is against his old nemesis, Ryan Mantis. That picture's pretty accurate of the style of wrestling you're going to see in this damn match. So I don't see a stipulation on here that there's no disqualification, but I have a feeling they're going to be wearing the hell out of the matchmakers all week, that they want a no DQ something or other. So I have a feeling this is going to be violent. This is going to be probably scary.
We'll see. I mean, you're right. Especially Lazarus Black has been pushing for a hardcore match. However, this is a TV taping, so this isn't one of the this isn't Deal with the Steel. This isn't one of the bigger shows. So we'll see what happens. But right now we're just kind of leaning. Let's both these guys have their hardcore credentials, but personally, I would like to see these guys compete in a regular rules wrestling match and see who at least the better wrestler is.
We'll just have to see, because I've seen Lazarus Black. They have turned regular matches into hardcore matches.
Yeah, that's true.
And they are really, they're a very dangerous person, and they, Ryan Mannis and them have a history together. Not only nemesis, but they used to be partners. Correct?
Yeah,
partners.
Part of the Black Society.
So this one should be interesting. So we'll just have to see how it all works out by Saturday.
Yeah, kids, keep your fingers away from Lazarus Black's mouth. I mean, he'll bite them off. I'm telling you, that guy's mean. He is mean. All right, and Ryan Mann has got his work cut out for him. Remember, though, we won't be seeing no Ty Tyson or Lewis Moore, so that gives me a good feeling. At least let's get through this TV taping. We almost saw a man garroted and murdered in the ring a couple of weeks ago, so... And I would worry about this match if it was no DQ, the same thing happening, but, we'll see. But anyway, Ryan Mannis and Lazarus Black, it's going to be good. It's just going to be kind of scary to be at ringside. Ghazi Devereaux, the Butcher Brat, finally defending the Mid-Atlantic Women's title one-on-one with the great Sasaki. I've been looking forward to this. I knew, because of the nature of that triple threat they had with Clara Carter, that this was not over by any stretch of the imagination. Ghazi with an incredible cheap shot to Sis Sasaki. I still call her Sis Sasaki, the great Sasaki, outside the ring after the match was over with, when he super kicked her into the middle of next week. And I am just like, really want to see Sis get the better of Ghazi. But the thing about it is, Ghazi cut through Colby Max like nothing, like a hot knife through butter. And Ghazi is a dangerous, dangerous person.
And she's going to be dangerous because Lazarus Black is there.
Yeah.
They run together.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, talking about Ryan Mantis's match, like, are we going to see Ghazi interfere there? What are we going to see? Are we going to see Lazarus? Maybe not, but they are both, I mean, vicious.
Yeah,
and they do anything to win. So, you know, for both of these matches, we're going to have to see what happens with them. So I would say, unfortunately, Sis might, you know, we'll see if she can take on, if Lazarus interferes, 2 people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If Lazarus is at ringside, he's going to interfere. I have no doubt about that. My thing is, I kind of feel Ghazi's frustration. Because Ghazi won the title from Jada Stone, and then pretty much has only had like maybe 1-2 defenses, and that's been almost a year ago. I mean, and it's not Ghazi's fault. It's the same problem Clara had when she had the Mid-Atlantic Women's Championship. We could not find people for her to defend against.
Right.
And I used to tease her all the time and be like, hey, Clara, when are you going to defend that title? You know, and she'd be like, as soon as somebody comes up here, I'm here every week. What do I have to do? You know, I mean, so it's tough, man. It's, you know, any women's champion, I don't know, at this level, it just seems impossible to find them challengers on a regular basis.
Especially challengers that are up to the task.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, that are up to the task. Because, I mean, the fact is, a lot of women wrestlers now are asking for a lot of money, a lot more money than we pay the guys. And again, I understand women are there. There's fewer women in wrestling than men, so you can ask for more because you're more in demand. But when you're asking for double straight out of training, get out of here. We're not, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, and you have to get the reps in. You know, the women that we have used frequently in the past are women who they didn't ask for any more than the guys, and 2 of those women, Jada Stone, who is now working a lot of the bigger indies now, and Claire Carter, same thing. Women, I'm telling you, if you'll just lower your price and, like you said, get your reps in, get your matches. I mean, yeah, maybe you can make more money. You may find promotions that will pay you your price, but you're not working. That you can't find that many.
Yeah, and it ain't going to be this one. I can tell you that.
No, it's not.
Because honestly, as tight as the budget is around here, I have protested the women being paid any more than the guys because they don't sell any more tickets. And I like having them on the card because they get a lot of YouTube views. But as far as butts and seats in the house and more hot dogs from the concession stand, not really a big difference. And I know that you were told by your trainer that you're special, but let me tell you this: sport, just like the Nike ads during the Olympics, sports are not for everybody. You know, maybe you should take a look in the mirror. Yeah, because there's a reason I'm an announcer and not a wrestler. You know,
18 to 80, deaf, dumb, or crazy man, woman, or child. If you ain't drawing, you ain't getting paid.
Amen to that. Especially
and we have this, and I'm going to weigh in because I'm the only woman here. Like, I agree wholeheartedly. I think you cannot come out of training and be one match in and come be like, oh, I need 250, you know, or whatever. Like, I love, I'm trying to think. there's a lot of women's wrestling that I really enjoy.
Yep.
Really enjoy. There's some out there. Claire Carter, I don't even look at her as women's wrestling. I look at her as she is a wrestler.
Mhm.
You don't need to put
There you
any
go.
kind of label on her. You don't need to say she's a female wrestler. She is a wrestler through and through.
I'm going to make a confession here about Clara. I got to say this. Sorry to interrupt you, Reagan, but I got to say this because it's impressive to me. But when Clara got that new gear, and she just the way she carries herself now, she has not really changed a bit. Not really. She's always very confident in herself. If you're not her opponent, friendly behind the scenes, very nice.
Mhm.
I mean, I went to her wedding, for God's sakes. I mean, nice person. But I'm a little starstruck when she comes around now because she just got this air about her, this confidence about her that I don't even see from JAC. I get it from JAC, but it's like, I don't know. It's just different coming off of her. Her aura is different than it was when I first met her. And
Oh yeah. I agree 100% because, like I said, JAC just posted earlier today, that he's on his way to Japan.
Which reminds me, Clara, if you're watching, go check the windows. Make sure they're all locked. Seth Clayton Burns is going to be on the prowl. You already know it.
Oh, that's right. He did. So that was disturbing.
Yeah. So just check the small things. Make sure, you lock the storm door behind you and all that kind of stuff.
Make sure the door dasher is the actual correct door dasher, not Seth Clayton Burns.
Mhm.
Yeah. Wow. Boy, that burger got here quick. I just ordered it.
But
I was going to say, I know a lot of focus is being put on JAC because he's got this big opportunity to go on his tour Japan. But with Clara, I just know it's just a matter of time before she gets her shot. I mean, I just know. I mean, there's just no way that she isn't. She's got the look, she's got the talent, she's got the charisma. I mean, she's got it all. So yeah, it's just a matter of time before she gets her big break too.
And I think, oh God, we've gotten way off the subject of this match, but I feel like I think she has done so well because she came in with such a good attitude.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, and I'm not talking about the people here on our screen.
No, exactly. Because both of these workers have been booked on our shows several times. If you see somebody booked once and you don't see them again, there's a reason for that.
Yep.
It's just, I mean, it's not just women wrestlers, because a lot of women wrestlers do come in and they're not very humble at all, and they don't want to do the work, or they'll be like, or they'll go out there and put on, I don't even know who it was.
Shit match.
There was one Clara match that, good God, I was like, I hope she murders her. It was, I mean, but we say this about guys too.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning, I mean, you always should stay humble, but definitely when you just rolled off the turnip truck.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
Get my depression era.
Just run off the turnip truck. Well, I'll tell you what, though, the great Sasaki is going about this the right way, because the first time I saw her wrestle in person, I was like, Last time I saw her once before, and then the last time, and I see marked improvement. So she's getting her reps. So that tells you where her attitude's at, because you see the improvement. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to this. I hope they can get this matter settled. To be honest with you, it's so hard to find, and I'll say, go on record and saying this publicly, part of me, as happy as I was the day they handed me the Mid-Atlantic Women's Championship and said, introduce this to the fans, and I was so happy. It was like I was the announcer on Jim Crockett Promotions with the announcement of the invention of the U.S. title. Oh my God, this is going to be great. And Casey Fox was a great champion. Clara was a great champion. Jada Stone was a champion. Jada Stone didn't have it very long. That's why I say that. Gazi's held on to it for a long time.
Her win was very impressive.
Yeah,
Her
but
win against Claire was very impressive.
Ghazi's had it a long time, but it just hadn't had the defenses. And it's like part of me just wants it to go away because if somebody gets it, they get mad because they don't get to defend it. And I get mad because they're mad that they can't defend it and we can't find opponents for them. And it's just frustrating, you know.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
so,
honestly, we were getting ready to just get rid of the women's title because of the lack of women who were willing to work with us. But we happened to get just enough women who
We're good.
right,
And
who
we're
were
good enough.
Yeah, we won't just take anybody, but women who are actually good and have a reasonable price. That it's keeping it alive just a little bit longer. So we'll see what happens after this matchup. Maybe we can find somebody else to challenge for the belt. So
it's definitely on life support, and as far as I'm concerned, and I hate to say that because the night that it was announced that it was going to be a thing was the night we had the all girls show, the Darlings of Wrestling, and at Mayberry Days when it was the all girl show, and Tracy Taylor was there, and I met a lot of nice people. When Tracy Taylor was PGWA Rookie of the Year in 2007, I gave her the award in Elkin. Randy Powell was there. It was a fun night. It was good to see her wrestle again. She's on some kind of TV show now. I saw it on her social media, but there were a bunch of great matches that night. And that was the night that Mickey Fulp won the Mid-Atlantic Championship from Ty Tyson, and we put the match up live on Facebook. We made an agreement with Randy at the end that we could air that. So that was a fun night, and I got a plaque over there from it. But anyway, so we'll see how things go at the show this weekend. Branch Management is the lawn care service that sponsors our show. I don't think they're really selling any hanging baskets right now. That was kind of a springtime thing. Maybe I ought to change that slide. But, flowers are pretty. Need any landscaping work, general contracting, gutter cleaning, pressure washing, all that kind of stuff. Branch Management can help you out. 336-648-2487. 336-648-2487. And all this rain we've been getting, boy, the grass is growing now. I don't know about it in Mount Airy, but here in Concord, 2 weeks ago, the grass out front had been burnt brown. Then all of a sudden, all that rain came. The grass started growing. The landscapers didn't come. Jinky saw a giraffe run through the backyard last Thursday. I saw 2 lions and a tiger on Friday before they finally came and cut the grass. And those animals are not normally native to North Carolina unless they're in a zoo. So anyway, keep your lawn looking great. Call Branch Management, 336-648-2487. Tees Treats is a locally owned Mount Airy food truck, and they do the concessions for the wrestling, of course, and that's why Rick Diesel is not with us tonight. They're an awesome food truck. Great pizza, delicious dogs, decadent desserts. That's kind of what they're known for. Tees Treats, they got the frozen bananas now, mini donuts. Everything's good on that truck. 336-755-8204. 336-755-8204 for availability and where you can find us, or if you want us to come to your event. But they are the Galax Fiddlers Convention in Virginia right now. So Tees Treats, our most delicious sponsor and official concessionaire of AIWF Mid-Atlantic. If you can find better concessions in wrestling, I challenge you to do so. Prove me wrong. They are the best concessions in wrestling. And now Secondhand Heroes and Home for Wayward Villains is a gaming store that also features collectible toys, retro gaming consoles, and games, as well as free-to-play arcade cabinets and comic books featuring Magic the Gathering, casual play, as well as tournaments. There needs to be some punctuation in that somewhere. I need to really fix that. And I was like, who wrote this crap? Well, partially me, so it is partially my fault. They also host Dungeons & Dragons campaigns several times a week. Located at 18184 Leesville Road in Evington, Virginia, right outside Lynchburg. Secondhand Heroes is your one-stop shop to get your nerd on. Yeah. Open 7 days a week at 11 a.m. They don't close until the dice stop rolling. They buy, sell, trade, barter, and haggle. They'll even knife fight you if you want to for a comic book. No, I'm just kidding about that part. Specializing in collectibles of all types, both vintage and modern. Table space for your Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons, or any other tabletop game. You can even bring your own tabletop game and host your game night with us. So, they feature older console games like Nintendo and Sega classics for your play enjoyment, as well as 25 arcade cabinets with hundreds of old school favorites set to free play. Yeah, that Dragon's Lair machine they got back there is calling my name, Brian. I don't know about you, but I don't know about you either, Stephen Hayes. But if I don't have to put a quarter in it each time,
I am so bad at Dragon's Lair, though.
I am too. It's a tough game. It's a tough game, but I mean, they do try to make it fun because Dirt does die very hilariously. You know, I mean, he's a screamer when he falls, and anyway, I'd like that. I was never good at Tron as a little kid. That was a little. I struggled with that. The Simpsons game I was pretty good, but that's a classic beat 'em up. So, and I loved Final Fight. I always I used Guy when I was using Final Fight, and I could wail on people. Let's see. On Monday Night D&D Group has been running for over a year. Our Monday Night D&D Group been running over for a year, and they welcome newcomers, both experienced and inexperienced. They also host video game competitions for games like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Mario Kart, and Super Smash Brothers, just to name a few. Something for the gamer and collector in us all. Call to make arrangements for your game night at 434-317-0121, or shoot us an email with any questions at secondhandheroesva@gmail.com. And you don't spell out second, it's 2ND. secondhandheroesva@gmail.com. Their inventory changes daily, so visit them often to make sure you don't miss out on that special item you have been looking for. Come game with us. And it looks like they keep that refrigerator with items in it for your purchase there, so you're not gonna get thirsty while you're there. They do have concessions. All right, so SummerSlam was last night. I'm assuming everybody on the panel watched it.
Not this one. This one fell asleep.
I have to work this weekend.
He did. He had to work this weekend.
Oh, okay.
I had to quietly enjoy.
I had to open
talking about Robert Gibson's eye getting fixed.
Yeah, that was funny, man. I did not expect a Rock and Roll Express reference in SummerSlam this year, but we got it.
That's the only thing I posted about the whole show.
Well, I mean, how do we want to go about this? We're gonna.
I got the website. I can pull some photos. Hang on.
Might as well run start to finish.
I'm just going to jump out there. I don't know that it was the best SummerSlam ever. I don't know how I felt. I felt like it didn't feel like SummerSlam. Like, we saw a lot of big names. We saw a lot of turns. A lot. But I just didn't feel SummerSlammy. And maybe it was just me. What do you think, Stephen Hayes?
It's not at the top of the SummerSlams that have ever been, but as far as story progression and when we get to the match, there's a couple people that'll be surprised with what I say. I'll go and put it out. I'm here to put Nia Jax over tonight.
I am too.
That was the absolute, and without going too insider or whatnot, that was the safest I have ever seen Nia work, and it impressed the absolute hell out of me.
I did too. There were a few times that I could tell she was being like you said, you don't get a little light with some of the stuff she did that used to hurt people, but her work rate, which I guess is another. Her wrestling ability right now is the best it's ever been, and
the Bailey powerbomb. The Bailey powerbomb was, dear Lord.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
It was very impressive.
So, Bailey is, but I guess we should start.
Let's start with the first match. We'll talk about that match. We'll get there. But I'm showing pictures of Rhea Ripley and and Dominic, and we're talking about Bailey and
I'm trying to ignore Dominic's mustache. I'm sorry.
That whole, he looks more like Eddie Guerrero every day.
Yep.
Every day. It's crazy. Well, they even talked about his custody ladder match on the commentary.
Oh yes, that was SummerSlam 03 or 04.
Oh my God, was it? Wow.
Yeah.
This match was, it
was good, man. I loved the Rhea popping her shoulder back in.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty cool. And advertisement. And look at that. Boy, that football stadium had a lot of people in it. It was not full, not by a long shot.
No.
But over 50,000 people. You got to understand, folks, though, these NFL stadiums usually hold 80, 88,000 people. I mean, and that's for football, much less if you're going to do wrestling and have the whole field covered.
There's more people in that stadium for wrestling than there's been for a Browns game in a while. I said what I said.
I feel bad for the Browns. I like them just because, I had relatives in Ohio and I just like the location of the stadium. It's right next door to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, right on Lake Erie. It's just, if you ever go there to visit, it's just, and I'm not saying go to the football stadium to visit, just in that general area, it's just beautiful. And I love the location of the stadium. I don't know where the hell you're supposed to park, but pretty cool location for a stadium. And if the Browns can get in the playoffs,
it's going to be full and then some.
Yeah, I mean, but think about the weather, man. When you got lake effect snow. I remember when the Browns used to get in the playoffs when I was a kid, man, and like
that's what
you
did
not want to go in. Yeah, you did not want to go in there, man, because it's rough. I mean, so I always pull for the cold weather teams in the NFL, along with my 49ers, because I like to see snow games. But anyway, Rhea and Liv had a great battle. Good match. Liv really held her own. Yeah, I mean, and Rhea, that was kind of cool. She had used that submission move. I can't remember what they called it, but she couldn't really cinch up on it because her right arm wasn't working good from having her shoulder popped out of socket, which will slow any athlete down.
Wrestled with a dislocated shoulder, very hard. I have not on this time. I mean, I'm not Rhea Ripley or her, Liv Morgan, but I did wrestle with a dislocated shoulder one time, and it's very, very hard. Very hard.
I would imagine so, yeah.
It really changes your game plan when that arm comes out and then just hangs to the side like a spaghetti noodle. So
get somebody to pop this back in for me, please. But anyway, Dominic saved Rhea from getting disqualified right here, which was smart because she was overreacting. But then Dominic got knocked off the ring apron. A chair got involved. Rhea hit the riptide. Then Dominic threw the chair into the ring and went and distracted the referee. And I was like, I looked at Jinky as soon as he did that, and I was like, that cocksucker did that on purpose. Look where that chair's laying. And right when I said that, wham! Down goes Rhea. 1, 2, 3. Liv retains the title. And Dominic turns on Rhea and kisses Liv. She looks like she's smiling there, but she's not. She's wincing. And Dominic and Liv Morgan leave together and head to the
go back one photo, Matt.
Okay.
That's your Joker origin right there.
Yeah.
That look.
Yep.
But and not just talking about this for Rhea Ripley, this set into action a lot of things to come for Judgment Day.
Oh yeah.
So this was not this was a domino effect, really.
Yep.
Or a Dominic effect, as the case may be.
Yes. Oh man, let's see. Okay, so up next it was what? Sami Zayn and Braun Breaker, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right, so let's get this gallery up here. Braun Breaker, man, you can tell he doesn't get paid by the hour last night.
No.
I told you. Oh.
That match did not go as long as the first one. Not at all.
It didn't need to. It
really
was, didn't.
And I was kind of glad because sometimes it gets a little old watching Sami Zayn take a beating. Like sometimes it draws out on you. And I love Sami Zayn, but I was glad that he put him to bed pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I can't watch Sami Zayn get beat up again. It's soul. It takes away a little bit of your soul every time.
So. Yeah, I'd kind of like to see him get back into tag team wrestling, honestly. I thought he was a great tag team wrestler.
You know, and the Steiners were there to watch it. They were up in the Legends box, and there's a TikTok going around of their excitement to see him. You know, and what I was telling Brian last night, it was interesting, you know, because was it the Royal Rumble where he was kind of just put in at the last minute, right? Mm-hmm. And went in, and was it the Rumble?
Yeah, it was Rumble.
Yeah, Breaker. He went in for Brock.
Yeah, and so, you know, it was and he has just exploded after that. Like, that's right time, right place kind of thing right there. So
right time, right place, right person.
Yeah, and it just, I told Matt, I think I like him because he has him a WCW era tattoo on his arm.
Yeah, but see, the thing about it is, like, they wanted the people not to like him. But
that wasn't going to happen.
No, everybody likes to bark. I was telling Reagan last night when I went to that PLE, the NXT, where he headlined against Grayson Waller down here in Charlotte inside a steel cage. I sit up there and every 30 seconds, woo, 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 you know, because of my voice carries, so you can hear me all over the building. And so I was barking the whole time. I love the guy. I think he's great.
As said, though, he won that belt in the dog pound. I mean, come on.
Yeah. The look of that match taking place in Cincinnati and him winning. I mean, you know, just sometimes things fall together in sports, you know?
Oh, yeah.
That's what makes sports great. That's why we play them and that's why we watch them. All right, let's see. Up next, I think, that looks like they got these in reverse order here. It was Logan Paul and L.A. Knight. Yeah. But they got, I was kind of like worried when I saw Machine Gun Kelly walking Logan to the ring. I was like, hey, weren't you just hanging around with Jelly Roll? What is this sudden heel turn going on here, pal? You know, but then they started.
Have you seen the Jackass with him in it, Machine Gun Kelly?
Is that the new one?
It's the last movie they made. It was him and Johnny Knoxville on like a bike. Like, and they had to do really fast, and whoever did it the fastest, like, didn't get hit by a big hand, and then he got hit by it and whined about it hurting. So
yeah, he was like, "You guys said that wasn't going to hurt." It's like, well, yeah, to the Jackass crew, it doesn't hurt.
Yeah,
what are you thinking?
Yeah, it's just Jackass hadn't been a thing for so many years. People don't know what they're getting into when they sign up for it.
He said, kick each other in the nuts for fun.
Yeah,
like, is that giant hand smacking me? Is that going to hurt? No. It doesn't hurt them.
But, you know, again, whether you hate him or like him, Logan Paul is really good in the ring. Mm-hmm. You know, his was it a moonsault to the outside? Yes.
Yeah.
Was a technical dream. It's very pretty. LA Knight, he is, I mean, like I said about LA, he's another one that's been around forever. He's put in his work. He went through it, you know, and now look at him. He's U.S. champ. U.S. champ?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, United
States. I'm trying to think of I'm like, not American champ. That's the dumb name for that belt in AEW. So.
Here, let me help you remember, Reagan. The U.S. title is one of the oldest lineages of any title in WWE, other than it's older than the Intercontinental, which started in 1979. The WWF Championship itself originally was 1960, right, Stephen?
Right around.
That's when the company was founded. So the United States title actually started in Greensboro under Crockett Promotions, and Harley Race was the first champion. He won it in Greensboro, and it is the only title that I am aware of that kept its lineage through JCP transitioning to WCW, then being bought out by WWE. It has survived all of that, and it just still has the single lineage, you know. So it went away for a few months, I think, right when WCW was purchased. But when they just started to invasion angle that came back. It came with whoever had it in WCW. I think, I'm not sure.
Yep.
So, yeah, but I hate when they run into the drink stand. It's such a waste. What
was I do have a question because I don't know enough. Why were all these people wearing these big, ugly gold chains? There was a bunch of them.
Oh, maybe they were like John Cena something.
I'd almost be willing to bet that farewell tour it was merch stand.
Yeah, that's who I expected to see and did not. So that was shocking to say the least. That I really thought he would come in at some point.
As you look at these photos, the match hadn't even started yet. They fought outside for a long time.
That table did not break. Ugh.
No.
There's nothing worse than hitting a table and it not breaking.
Yeah.
Than having a heel table.
I do have a question.
Table. I hadn't heard that expression in a while.
What did he say? I'm sorry, I missed
a heel table.
Why does he do a woman's leg drop?
I don't know.
That's a woman's leg drop
because he wants to show off that he can do a split.
Yes,
that's why.
Gender equality.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Is he going to do the Spanish Fly next?
But he better be careful doing those type of moves. He might want to have kids someday. So I'm just saying.
God, I hope not.
Oh God.
Well, he is married, so it could happen. LA Knight with a nice flying elbow drop there. Good shot from the Coyote cam. There's a shot of it from the ground. And does everybody here understand why we call this the Coyote cam? I mean, it's not really the Coyote cam anymore. If it was a Coyote cam, it'd be straight over top the ring. So it's kind of similar, but we call it the Coyote cam because if you watch the Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote, every time he falls off the cliff, you see it from a straight overhead shot. But anyway, let's see. That's nice. Ooh, that's a good shot. Look at all those people there. Mm-hmm. Each of them paid probably about, now I'm not talking about the ringsiders. They paid several hundred, but like these people right here, probably in 110, 115 range right here, probably about 85, 65 right here. So,
and 15 up top.
Yep. And so pretty good house, even though it wasn't full. I'd say that, Triple H is going to be able to keep the lights on another week. And I like the way they had the stadium set up so it kind of like you didn't really see the empty sections too much. You would see it on the entrances, if they were walking behind the wrestler, the camera was, but they had the ring set up in a way that is kind of like over to one side of the football stadium. So it was nice. I enjoy it. I like a good old school outdoor show. Makes me think of the Great American Bash. And so,
yep, that suplex scared me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one was scary. I really thought he was going to land on his head.
I may or may not have winced really hard at that moment.
There's another look at it.
Yeah.
See, I probably won't show him hitting the ground. No, this is when Machine Gun Kelly gave Logan Paul the knucks on the chain. But LA Knight ended up, Logan caught him with a shot, but he hit him with kind of like an off-balance jab to the head instead of the haymakers, what Michael Cole said. And so that's how LA Knight was able to avoid getting pinned and then smash Logan Paul's face into the mat with his move. What does he call that thing?
Blunt force trauma.
Blunt force trauma. 1, 2, 3. And now a new United States Championship. And I always pay close attention to this because, it was born here in Carolina. Has survived all these years and still going strong. And I hope it keeps going. It's my favorite title, in WWE. And it's just because of its lineage and its history. It's an old championship. And I hope that the young guys that hold it, I'm sure LA Knight probably appreciates it. He's been around wrestling long enough too, but I just hope that anytime they put anytime the U.S. title goes on a new young competitor, they should probably have to sit down and hear a history lesson about it. Just my humble opinion.
Here, go watch Magnum and Nikita Best of 7.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this title has, led to some near riots. Let's see. All right. Now here's the one y'all were talking about earlier. Bailey and Nia Jax. Now I am a Bailey I'm a Bailey boy. Have been since she was in NXT, and this was
I'm
hard
right there
to
with
watch.
you. I'm right there with you, and gotta love the hugger gear that she came out wearing.
I should have known it was going to be bad when that happened. But Nia Jax coming, I have to admit that crown is pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Her whole gear, I mean, her whole outfit was it was good. It really like embodies who she is right now. She's cold.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I won't disagree with anything you say about Nia Jax, but like, this is like the 49ers losing the Super Bowl. When Bailey loses the title, it's hard on me. I will get over it pretty quick, within a week, surely. But for a couple of days, I'm in mourning. And, you know, I know when she won it at WrestleMania, I was just like, well, that just means you're going to have to go through her losing it again, Matt, but maybe she'll have a good run with it. And she did. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you can't hold on to these things forever. I mean, because you don't just defend them on TV, you defend them on those non-televised events too. And so your body gets banged up. And Bailey has not had an easy time of it as champion. She's had people after her the whole time. Although I will say this, it doesn't seem like this championship reign for Bailey was especially, it doesn't stand out from the other ones.
No, it really doesn't. And I attribute that mostly to just the sheer amount of talent they have on the roster at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you know, how hard is it to keep everybody way up here when you gotta, you know.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, Bailey's bulked up since the pandemic, and I think it served her well. You know, I didn't know what she was doing it for at first, but then I saw something on one of her socials where she's like doing all this extra leg work. And
the shorts.
Yeah. But she's got some huge thighs now, and it kind of makes me feel like almost halfway perverted for looking at that stuff. So I don't. I'm just self-conscious about it because Bailey
it's not perversion, it's research.
Yeah, I try to tell myself that, but if Bailey is like, you know, I've never met her, but it's like she's that cousin I don't see that often. You know, I love her and I miss her, but I don't really know her. You know,
yeah.
I'm a huge Bailey boy, as you can tell, but I need to stop that. Stop talking about that. But anyway, they had a great match. You guys were talking about it earlier. I don't think there was anything wrong with the match.
No,
I thought Nia wrestled her ass off.
Yes. Yeah, and I'll be the first one to eat crow on all the times that I said bad things when it really was bad, but this one kind of made up for a lot of the bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can still, I mean, she was very bad there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she was. I mean, not only just everything about her was terrible. Her working, her wrestling, her mouth, everything. It just wasn't clicking. And I don't know what's happened, but now that, you know, she's been back, you know, she was gone for a while and then she came back. And I know she's been back for a while now, but, you know, there was that hiatus. And I think she must have really delved deep and put the work in, because when she came back, it was like a different person.
When you've got that much of the extended family on the roster and you see what they're doing, you better step up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because nepotism can only get you so far. You got to put it in the work, and
get your foot in the door.
Yep,
and get your foot in the door, but you have to really prove yourself.
It ain't going to keep you there.
Of the shadow of everybody else and make your own way.
Mm-hmm.
There's Bailey and Tiffany Stratton. That's like a worst nightmare for me. Well, that would be a good feud. I don't know if Tiffany's ready for Bailey yet, but Bailey could get her. I mean, she probably is. I mean, because see, Bailey is like so good that if her match is not like outstanding, you don't even notice it anymore. She's just so consistent.
I could legitimately see Bailey and Tiffany having a better match than Bailey and Sasha did at that first NXT takeover.
That's some big talk there, sir.
I said what I said.
Okay. I mean, I just want to make sure. That was 2017 NXT takeover, I believe, in Brooklyn, the day before SummerSlam.
Yep.
Yeah. I remember that night, man, like when Bailey came out, and was standing with their Bailey buddies like she used to do in the old entrance. I looked at Jinky and I was like, God almighty, man, she looks fucking ready, don't she? Like that. I mean, there was just something in her eyes that I had never seen before. And
those two main eventing had a point to prove.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and Sasha Banks broke her neck during that match.
Mm.
And so there it is, Nia Jax, new WWE Women's Champion, and so that's that.
Can I talk about the big failure of the night?
Well,
the ref cam in the ear.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Brian's like, do you remember when they did that in WCW? But Nick Patrick wore a big helmet on his head.
That's what I was thinking too, Brian. A referee.
Because when I first saw it, and it was in that first match, I bring it up because of the Seth Rollins, what's getting ready to happen here. It's a good, like when that guy had it in and he was like looking around, I was like, I'm going to throw up. I was like, this is terrible. This is a horrible idea because
Blair Witch Wrestling.
Yes, and Seth came out with it, but I do believe he took it out at some point. I don't know why, but he did. And it
didn't look like he's got it in right there. I mean, I know it took him hard to see.
He had it in out, and he had it for just a smidge of time, and then it. I don't know if it came out or if he took it out, but I was like, this is terrible.
I'm pretty sure when Punk's jacket hit it killed something.
Oh yeah. This match, I'm just gonna tell you, I love Drew McIntyre with every part of my soul. He is so good looking, and he's so good, and he's so
Jesus
good.
Christ, Reagan, you're sitting right next to your husband.
He has cats, and he loves his cats. And only thing is, I wish you'd, as my mother would call it, the Jet Die number 99. Do y'all know that from the Steve does because Tennessee, so he knows what I'm talking about. So that's my only problem with him.
So you're not fooling anybody, Drew.
No.
Go down a few shades.
Yeah, go down a few shades. But this match, I was actually entertained. I was worried about it just because, CM Punk, I mean, every time CM Punk comes out,
he gets hurt.
Historically, he gets hurt. And this match, it gave me what I wanted from this. He took some solid ass hits from that swing into the commentator's desk, and
Drew beat his ass for the majority of this match, and Punk had it coming, honestly. Oh, and those tights are a tribute to Bret Hart.
And did he call Seth Rollins' pants Sabu pants? I think he said something about Sabu looking pants. Maybe I made it up in my head, but I could have swore that's what he said.
Yeah,
that's a good chance.
Somebody fact check me on that one.
It's either Sabu pants or really expensive Matt Hardy pants. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I thought the same thing too.
That's where I started having SummerSlam '97 flashbacks right there when the referee, Shawn Michaels hit the Undertaker and cost him the titles. Even the announcers were talking about that. It was funny they were joking about Shawn Michaels' shorts and saying they still had nightmares.
Yeah. They were going through all that, and I hate to say it, but the Shawn shorts kind of popped up in the mind going, no.
Whatever. Those were fantastic. I don't know what the hell y'all talking about. That's the best I've ever seen Shawn Michaels.
Well, they weren't as pleasant for straight men, okay, right?
You know what would make those shorts look absolutely incredible? Bailey.
Shawn Michaels.
Oh.
Shawn Michaels.
There you go, Matt.
Maybe Kevin
Nash. Doing that. I feel uncomfortable.
I did have that Shawn Michaels magazine where he had the belt just over his privates.
Of course you did.
And stuff.
That is one of the more funny wrestling photographs of all time, though. I thought that was hilarious. It was a Raw magazine, if I believe.
Yes, it was.
What annoys me is about once every 6 months, I scroll by Joey Harrison's Facebook page, and he has that photo up.
Yep.
Not of Shawn, but of Joey.
Have you ever seen the one of Rick Diesel that's like that?
No.
Well,
I can still sleep at night. No.
It was when he and Daniel Mays were the tag team champions. So here's where CM Punk made a critical mistake, if you ask me. He had McIntyre beat.
Yes.
And he was more concerned with Seth Rollins having the bracelet on. Seth picked it up out of the ring and put it on his wrist because he didn't want it to get lost.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean,
yeah, you're welcome.
I mean, and he laid into him. And the reason CM Punk lost is for that exact reason. And Seth told him, so you're an asshole and you care too much about other stuff and you've always caused a problem. And so this is what happened because of it. So
CM Punk was distracted and he had him beat, and Rollins tried to get there as fast as he could. I mean, he had been knocked out of the ring, for God's sakes. And then Punk gets in his face again, not paying attention to his opponent, which somebody that's been wrestling as long as CM Punk, I just can't. Maybe it's because he's been out of action so long.
It's that ego. It's that ego. It has to be his way, and his way here got him beat.
Yep, and he gives Seth, the fucking referee, the GTS, and just is scolding him, saying it's not always about me, it's not always about you, on and on. Drew McIntyre gets the payback with a good old kick to the Beans and Franks.
Go ahead, butthead. Go ahead, butthead. Kick me in the Jimmy.
And indeed, Drew did. Hits the Claymore. Seth comes over reluctantly at first, but then I think it dawned on him, hey, yeah, we both hate this asshole, so I'll count him out and leave. And then Drew took the armband, which is causing CM Punk so much stress.
Oh my God, is he a fifth grade girl?
Well, they were debating that on the post show last night. It's like Big E was saying, well, it's not like you got your real dog. It's like not like he's got your real wife and dog.
It's not like It's not like oh God, who killed the dog?
Oh yeah.
John Wick.
Big Bubba.
Boss man.
Boss man. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was like, just get your wife to make you another beaded bracelet. I mean, it's not like she's dead. I mean, it would be
it's not
different.
Like it has her ashes in it.
Right. Yeah. It's just a beaded. I mean, I understand things having a sentimental value, but yeah, and just have your wife make you another one.
Or a fan made that for him.
A fan gave it to him.
Yeah, a fan.
A fan. Oh, okay.
A little kid, yeah.
Well, then have the little kid make another one for you.
Yeah, it's not like you couldn't track them down,
Right.
Well, I saw a story right before we started this. I'm not sure which dirt sheet. And I love the headline of the fan now wants compensation because that bracelet is being used as part of an angle.
Oh, I hope that's not true.
I'm sure that's not true. I would hope.
Yeah,
I don't care. Pay the kid.
Give it away. Yeah, you gave it as a gift, so it's not yours anymore. And CM Punk can use it how.
Yeah, don't be a can't say what it is giver. Can't say that anymore.
I can.
No, you can't. Yet again, Damian Priest, another person that I really like to look at. And he has come so far. I enjoy him. I enjoy the way he wrestles. I don't know. I like him, but I am skewed to the better looking wrestlers. I can't help it. But as a female, I can say that it doesn't sound like objectifying men, but women.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
But you
can't have it both ways, Reagan. You can't have it both ways. And anybody that lives out in Arizona near the Apache Res will tell you that Indian giver is an actual term. So, and it means it's like not a stereotype. It's a real thing.
But a person like I can't say it. I don't have the heritage to say it. Well, this is neither
near American, just like that.
I started this. And here we go. This is where things started. The Dominic effect started taking into consideration. This
was old time. Just get in there and beat the tar out of each other, man. I mean, they were chopping like Flair and Ronnie Garvin in '86. I mean, smack. It was great. Gunther is just, I texted Reagan before this match started. I was like, I hope Gunner wins, but I don't think he will. And I was thrown off because they're doing that documentary on Monday coming out on Peacock about Damian Priest. So I thought, if they're doing a documentary, he's got way too much momentum, but goes to show you what I know about.
But you have to think of it I don't want to bring back the curtain a lot, but more people are going to watch it because they like Damian Priest now, whereas they don't like Gunther. And I think they're wanting to lean into that. People are actually pretty big fans of Damian Priest now.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
You know.
Well, first time I laid eyes on him, I was like, man, that guy's going to be world champion one day. And I saw him. I'd never seen him wrestle on TV until I saw him at a live event in Charlotte before the pandemic. And I was just like, damn. And he got on the microphone and talked, and he had that big bassy voice. And I'm just like, I looked at the person next to me. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Oh, and the guy's like, oh, he's fresh out of NXT, man. His name is Damian Priest, man. People are really saying great things about him. And I was like, well, he got the look in the voice, don't he? Like it. And he's like, oh.
And these are also two men who really, changed their appearance very drastically,
Yes.
So more power to them.
Oh, hey.
Look at that chop. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's right in the throat. Oh.
Yeah, it is.
And you can see Gunther's, he didn't have to do like Chris Jericho and juice his own chest. Like, he was, honest to God, bleeding from it. So,
well, Finn Balor started that on Raw, in their match. He got him opened up, and then Damian Priest went right after it and opened it back up. And so, I mean, and it, like, the blood was just pouring out of that one cut. The one right here, you can see it right here.
Yep.
Oh, man. It was,
and you can just see all the vessels that were broken on his chest.
I think my favorite part of that, too, was the close-up camera shot of it, and then the pan back to him looking at it on the Tron, realizing, shit, I'm bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He didn't even realize it. That's because he probably was numb. His chest was probably numb. And did you see his interview with Kathy Kelly after the show? Like, it looked like they had cleaned it, but like no Neosporin, no bandage. The holes were still there. They just weren't bleeding. And I was like, dude, I know you're tough. You ain't got to prove nothing to me or anybody else. But I mean, he's young. So yes, he does. And, and I was just like, man, God, somebody get this guy some Neosporin and a Band-Aid, for God's sake, something.
Put a bandana on that.
Yeah, and here's a Gunner. Looks like he's about to kick the crap out of Finn Balor. And this is where things started going south. There's the Razor's Edge.
South of Heaven.
Yeah, there's a South of Heaven. And then Finn Balor puts Gunther's foot on the rope. And Damian Priest goes after him. Gunner comes from behind, bing, bang, boom, ping, pow, ping, 1, 2, 3, and he's the new world champion. And Judgment Day is in smithereens. So,
yep.
I don't know. And Finn Balor really, I think Finn's been taking it personally, like that Damian Priest didn't want him at ringside with him the last few months. Because Damian Priest is like, I need to do this on my own. And it's like, Finn has been in the Judgment Day since it was founded. And I think, right? Or no, when he joined, they turned on Edge, right? And threw him out.
Yeah.
So,
oh, my, that's been a while.
Yeah. So, because Edge founded it. But anyway, it's like, no, I think this is a disagreement of sorts. Like, we've got this group that we're supposed to be a family. That's the whole idea. If we wanted to be on our own, we would. Strength in numbers, use that to your advantage. And Finn had just had enough, I think. And
you ever notice, though, that when Finn Balor tries to do the little stank eye mad stare, he looks like he's a 12-year-old kid.
He does. But Gunther wears that title well, and I have a feeling, look at that, just bruises and the actual blood. I think Gunther's going to be a good champion. I mean, he held on to the Intercontinental title longer than the Honky Tonk Man did. Maybe he holds on to the world title longer than Hogan. Who knows?
Oh, God, I hope so.
We'll see. I am hopeful that this was the hosts came out, Miz and R-Truth, the Awesome Truth. This was this was a fun segment. Just get everybody,
time to side getting over.
Yeah, and. Man, how the mighty have fallen, Austin Theory. And now Machine Gun Kelly's back with Jelly Roll. He's a good guy again. I'm confused.
He's a tweener. He's a tweener, man.
I was confused. And Wade Barrett saying that he wanted to see Jelly Roll have a match. No. Let's not have that happen. But then
only if he'll team up with Bad Bunny.
You know what?
Yeah, but could Bad Bunny actually wrestle?
Yeah, he could.
Exactly.
They could draw a house with that.
You talk about your new version of the FBI with Big Sal and Little Guido.
Yeah. And so Jelly Roll gets to live out a lifelong dream of hitting a couple of wrestlers with a chair. They get on Austin Theory. Jelly Roll gives him a choke slam. I
don't.
They made. I mean, this was a dream of Jelly Rolls, and he's obviously in no condition to, compete in a competitive wrestling match. But this was funny. The 15th shuffle. They all came from different directions. That was funny. But Austin Theory is just Cornette's going to have a hissy about that. He's going to be with the old line. Why don't you just piss in my mouth while I'm down there?
Garrett, guess who won the pony?
Yep. But people that listen to Cornette's show will get that. Those of you who don't listen, you don't understand.
You don't need to.
Here we go. Main event time. WWE Championship. Solo Sikoa against Cody Rhodes.
I did mark out when I saw Arn Anderson.
Yeah, that was cool.
I sent Matt a text that he didn't respond to. I said, it's Arn.
Armed Anderson.
How is it, Aaron? How did somebody, who was it that would be like, Aaron? I don't remember.
I don't remember who said it. Yeah.
I remember David Crockett pronounced it wrong one time on a video cassette against Ole and Arn Anderson. And I was just like, but he never did it on TV, so I know it was just a slip of the tongue that day.
This was like Bobby or Larry Zbysko or somebody that would say it. It was a commentating team.
Oh, wow. Okay. My dad used to call him Art Anderson. Solo and Cody had a match, and if you've been to a WWE house show anytime in the last 2 years, you've seen the quick version of this. Yeah, you've seen the 7-minute version of this. This one was better, though. Their little dark match, house show match, is very entertaining, but like to see them go in this long match, really good. And you can tell why they've been having these two wrestle each other every night for the last 2 years. It was so when they did something major on TV, it would be fucking epic, and it was.
Why is he wearing? I've been very busy with life.
Kevin Owens poked his eye out.
Yeah, Kevin Owens poked him in the eye. I don't think he like took a nail or his thumb and smashed it in. But
he didn't take a golden spike.
No, he didn't.
Unfortunately.
That would be cool to see somebody get hit with the spike. But Randy Orton and Kevin Owens came to the rescue. Cody and Solo keep going. Solo hits the spear and the stairs go flying. That's kind of a cool action shot. I like that.
That is a very cool shot,
yes.
Yeah.
Dan English standing over here going, I hope it doesn't fly out into the crowd. Let's see. Go ahead, Steven. I'm sorry.
And the stairs almost bounced back and killed both of them.
Oh, poor Jacob Fatu, though.
Oh.
We had to act. I could tell as soon as he hit
that shin.
I was like, when he grabbed it, I was like, that's not selling. That's not selling. And so it's a shame because he hasn't been around long enough to take, I hate to see this break his momentum,
Well, maybe he's not hurt too bad. I hadn't heard anything.
No, I think they're saying today that he broke his shin.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They had him in a walking boot right after the show, so.
Yeah. If he didn't break it, he definitely did something to his shin. So it's a legitimate injury.
So did he do it here, jumping onto the table? Okay.
Yeah. So he hits the table, and then when he rolls off, he just immediately grabs his leg.
Well, judging by that shot right there, it looks like he is going to be a little short.
Yeah. Well, see, this is the thing. Yes. Does it happen more often in AEW? Yes. But injuries can happen anywhere. How many times does the WWE do that spot? Yeah. I mean, really?
A lot.
Every pay-per-view, they do that. I mean, maybe not, but they do that spot a lot. And sometimes you get hurt doing shit like that. So
if it isn't one of the Samoans, it's Logan Paul. So yeah, I mean, you got a better than average chance of somebody getting hurt during that.
And Dan Engler looks just worn out right here, doesn't he?
Does he call that a Tongan spike? Like, I mean, not a Samoan spike. I've lost my mind. I was thinking about the Barbarian that we talked about. He was Tongan.
Yeah, then Roman Reigns showed up. Boy, when that crowd was, if there'd have been a roof on that building, it would have left. Yeah. It's a good thing that was an outdoor show. But Roman did not look like he was happy, and he wasn't. No. He went into the ring, and remember The Shining? Roman went into the ring and corrected Solo.
Yes.
When he wasn't sure if they got his meaning, Roman corrected him again. And
with an axe, sir.
But like
that's my favorite scene in that movie, and maybe cinema of all time.
It was a very good one.
Yeah.
But I like the look of this new Roman Reigns. He looks more wise. You know, he's got the beard out a little longer. He's got a little gray in it. You know, so I think it's a Roman Reigns that is a lot more. It's a lot wiser now.
Wow, Reagan, you can tell you really have just recently started watching wrestling back again, because he's looked like this for the last year and a half.
With the gray?
Yeah.
Oh, then never mind. Fuck me, fuck. I don't care. Never mind.
Well, no, you got an excuse. You just started watching regularly recently again. So
that's true.
Yeah, man, if the last time you saw him was 2016, then I understand why you think that.
2016 is when he got beat by Dustin.
Cody. The other one.
Well, that was a while back.
Yeah, man, that's back in 2010 and NXT, maybe.
Reagan over here basically saying all white people look alike.
Oh, well, no, all the Rhodeses look alike. Oh my God!
And so Roman takes the adulation from the fans because he knows everybody loves him. They've been hollering, "We want Roman" for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks now.
Now you have him.
Yep, now you got him.
He looks more wise in the eyes.
She's not gonna let this go. She's gonna make this point stick.
That man got some sleep finally.
Yeah. I don't give a damn what anybody says. I can push this anvil through this tire.
Everybody that knows me on this show knows that I don't have any sense about some stuff. So,
well, that's all of us. That's why we're in the wrestling business.
I'm trying a lot better than I was with wrestling. Mm-hmm. I mean, you have to give me that, Matt.
Yeah. You're making an effort to watch it. At least sometimes. And I know it's tough. I watch it for research to know, because Dean, the boss man, told me when we started this show and we started doing the panels, he was like, you as the host have to be the smartest person on the panel. And I thought, well, goddamn, that's impossible. But the only way I feel like I can do that is just outwatch everybody else as far as wrestling. And I'm still not doing it. Stephen Hayes watches more than I do, and then when
I can say to you, I'm just here for smart ass comments and the occasional haha.
Yeah, but then there's other people like Chris Severn, man, who watches everything. Corey Edsel watches everything. TNA, everything.
The rest of us have a life.
Yeah. I just can't do that. 3 hours of Raw every week, 2 hours of SmackDown, and once a month of paper. And I watch NXT too, so I can keep an eye on the young talent.
Well, consider that when I go back to work, I start going to bed at 8:30. This is all going to fall to the wayside.
Yeah. Well, that's all right. I mean, it is what it is. And Cody Rhodes gets a 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns looks, I don't want to think
wise here. Look how wise he looks.
He doesn't look sad, but he doesn't look happy. He looks disappointed.
Yeah, that's it.
And
that's
like
it. Your dad's not mad at you. I'm just disappointed in what you've done.
Just disappointed, and that hurts so much more.
So is his OTC original tribal chief?
Yes, it is.
Yep.
And they figured that out in the post show.
Oh, see, I was already asleep by the end of this. So
yeah, I watched the post show this morning. I always like to hear Triple H's remarks, so it's worth sitting through the other stuff. And they do crack some good one-liners. Wade Barrett and Big E are hilarious. Yeah. But yeah, so Roman Reigns is back. Cody Rhodes holds the 3 next to the belt, as he explained in the press conference, to let Roman know, hey, I know you did that because you're mad at Solo, not because you're trying to help me. When you're ready, we can have the 3rd match. So, so yeah.
So I'm ready for a Cody Rhodes heel turn myself.
Oh, I don't want that to happen.
Oh, come on.
I know he'd be good at it, but
I don't know. Watching him come out and everybody singing it's just, he is really over now.
But they played the words.
It would be worse. Yeah, it would be worse if he were a heel, because he'll go straight Homelander.
Homelander.
Yeah. I am sad about his dog. Though. That almost made me cry. He's having to
Pharaoh.
Well, he's not putting him down. He's just not going to travel with him anymore because he's getting too old to do the traveling with him because he's 13. And so that was I think bringing him out last night like that was the last hurrah for wrestling for him. So.
Well, he said in the press conference, somebody asked him about that, and he said that Pharaoh was getting to the point now because they had the kids now. He could tell the dog was happier at home. And that was part of the reason. It wasn't just because of his age, but he's the pack is at the house now, not here. Yeah. And that's where he wants to be. And then he talked about his other dog being a jobber. And that was funny. I never heard anybody call a dog a jobber. And so
I have a cat who's a jobber, so I like that.
I mean, Pharaoh's going away. Larry can't be on TV.
Why can't Larry be on TV?
Because the last time he was on TV was AEW, and then all the shit went down. And
that was the night of the fight with the Young Bucks.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I know he ran out into the arena, but I didn't know it was on TV. I know that.
It's Punk's statement of asking if we were going to see Larry anytime, and Punk made the statement, Larry can't be on TV anymore.
We didn't even talk about the big thing in AEW this week, and we're out of time.
Blood and guts.
Tune in next week.
No, not blood and guts.
What happened?
Britt Baker got suspended because her and MJF's piece at the time got into it, and they suspended her. And MJF apparently punched a wall about it. He got so mad.
You can't have an opinion about the Golden Child.
Nope.
No, but they say she's difficult too. So who knows? I guess 2 difficult people are really gonna. Look at CM Punk and Jack Perry.
That's I tell you what, man, AEW is the perfect place to go if you're difficult to work with. Because that shit ain't gonna fly in the WWE, not anymore.
And just a quick thing that we say a lot, and I've been watching. I did not watch this week because of Olympics. But, I've been trying, and I've said this before, they have some really good wrestlers, and if they would focus on them, they would do much better. But they have all these egos that it's like Hulk Hogan all over again. They get to control everything about what they do. And so when that happens, things blow up in the back. So,
yeah.
My thing is, I would have said they're not even making Hogan money, but then they put out the talent pay, and hell, Hogan wasn't making AEW indie guy money.
Yeah.
But
it's crazy. I'm glad those people have a place to work.
Yes.
But and they're able to make that big money, but if you're miserable at your job, eventually you're going to stop caring. And I think that may be what's happening. I'm going to just sit here and draw a paycheck until my contract runs out, and then see if I can call somebody at NXT and see if I can get over there. Ethan seems to like it, and they put the belt on him. So
yeah. I got a hangnail. I can't come to work today.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah.
It's just, the whole thing is just focus on what's good there and just do that. So we'll see.
Well, they can't because they don't have a properly skilled, experienced booker that knows how to get people.
And they don't have somebody who is who can control the back, the backstage.
Okay. Since we brought up the Britt Baker, shall we bring up the fact that Tony Khan had a meeting with Shane McMahon this week?
He did.
Yeah, I saw that picture.
Yeah.
When I first saw it, I was like, "Oh, that's internet bullshit." But then I saw more and more legitimate type places reporting it, and I'm like,
Shane texted Bubba about it. Bubba mentioned it on Busted Open.
Did he? Okay,
yeah.
So it's legit. Well, Shane could help him out, man. Shane's got the know-how. I mean, and what ties does he really have to WWE anymore? I mean, his dad threw him out on his ass the last time he was there for what? Having a bad showing in a Royal Rumble? I mean,
trying to overbook himself.
And didn't he stand up to him too? Didn't somebody say he stood up to him? That made him mad.
So, well,
but I mean, that's
the McMahon children have certainly over the last couple of years had to deal with a lot of uncomfortable stuff.
Yes.
I would be surprised if Stephanie even speaks to her dad again. I mean, she's probably polite to him, but when mom and dad fight, and
the kids suffer.
Kids suffer even if they're already grown. And then
I completely agree.
So all these salacious stories come out, and you start questioning everything that you thought was great about your family from your entire childhood. Was Daddy always fucking around on Mama? I mean,
yeah, because even if you take away everything about that story, he still cheated on her. He still had girlfriends. He still had women under her nose, and he still was, Speaking, this is completely off the subject. But if you notice how Missy Hyde has been coming out leaning into the fact that everybody knew she was having sex with everybody, she just came out and said that she had sex with the Sandman because he was uncomfortable working with her in that angle where they were together, so she wanted to have sex with him to make him more comfortable.
She must need some money. She's gonna be.
A month or two ago, she came out talking about how she's having sex with She had sex with JR.
I mean, the Sandman story is just completely valid. I mean, I can back that logic.
Yeah. Now, what about the JR story? Well, maybe who knows?
Like, not just one of those things where I guess she's fine. Everybody knew what I did.
Yeah. When JR's in the office, I can back that logic too. It's how you keep your job.
And she was with WCW for a long time.
Yes.
Wasn't there until she got lippy with Eric Bischoff about Sherry Martel coming in and she lost her job. So
Sherry had to whoop that ass. So
I know that for a fact. Yeah.
I would.
Sherry Martel could beat up most men and it not break a sweat. So, yeah. Was most people there say were real nice to Sherry at conventions and stuff, and I think part of that was fear. It's so lovely to see.
If I ever make it down to another show down that way, remind me to tell you my Sherry Martel stories. I'm not sharing those on here.
No. We don't want to do that. Sherry's not with us anymore, and we can't have her on as a guest to verify. So
yeah.
And so, and maybe
you'll get
telling them stories in public anyway.
No, not those kind of stories, but you'll get a huge kick out of it.
All I can say is I never met Sherry Martel, but she strikes me as she would have been a lot of fun.
She was. I love Sherry till the day I die.
Yeah,
Sherry was a peach of a human being.
Yeah, it just seemed like she'd be a hell of a lot of fun, and if you were nice to her, she would reciprocate that in kind, and you could just have a great time. Yeah, and I don't mean like great time working and hanging around the show. I mean like a great time going out somewhere, getting a bite to eat, and having a few drinks, and shooting the shit, and then seeing what kind of mayhem broke loose later on. Yeah. So it sounds like she's just like I imagine, but I've heard
100%.
Yeah, I've heard a lot, but I've heard a lot of people that have met her to say the same type of things. So yeah. So anyway, yeah. Now I'm sad because I'm mad that I never got to meet Sherry. She passed away way too young. So, but Moolah was old enough to be my grandmother, and she lived till 2006.
When you're a hateful old bitch, you can't die.
When you suck the souls out, and make the people that work for you prostitute yourselves.
Don't say that on this show. That's not been verified, and mostly that's been disproven.
We'll see.
Yeah,
allegedly.
Yeah.
The statements of Reagan Danzig are strictly her own and not those of the AIWF Ringside podcast.
Yes, that's right.
She still was a hateful bitch from everything I've heard.
Well, I'll back that.
Yeah, she might have been, but then I've heard people talk about that she was really sweet. But they were people that were not trying to compete against her. You know, they were the people that talked about how sweet she was were people that wanted to go down there, visit her farm, her wrestling farm, and book her wrestlers and her. And oh yeah, Aunt Lil, just a sweet man. She had fried chicken and tater salad and cornbread ready for me when I got down there.
And if you said a crossword, May will whoop that ass.
Yeah. Fucking May kept grabbing my ass every time I'd stand up. That drove me crazy. But no, we had a good time, and hell, I had so much fun down there that day. I booked 4 of her girls for slap month.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but hey, you know, anyway, so Moolah,
I mean, even Ted Bundy's wife probably her girlfriend liked him at one point. So nothing. Never mind.
All right. Well, let's get out of here, folks. We've had a pretty good show, I think. Anyway, come join us at the Veterans Park this Saturday night, August 10th. It's going to be a big show. It's our last show before Deal with the Steel. I'm hoping that in the next couple of weeks we can find out some information about who Tyson and Lewis Moore have selected as tag team partners, but probably not going to find out much Saturday night because neither one of them are allowed to be there. So they're pretty much not going to be able to touch each other until Deal with the Steel. So, but we'll get to see some new people coming in from Lodi's training camp. That'll be interesting. And we get to see Lazarus Black and
Ryan Mantis.
Thank you. Sorry, Ryan. I just, I was a marijuana enthusiast in my 20s, and there's some damage from all that. But yeah, so that's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to Ghazi and the Great Sasaki. I mean, pretty much all the matches on the card are looking pretty interesting this week. Oh, and there is going to be a new concession vendor at the show this week, I understand. So,
that
new
is.
dining options. You're going to be able to get an authentic Philly cheesesteak at the show.
Chicken wings too, right?
I think so. Yeah. So get ready. We've got something new for you, and the options just keep increasing around the Mid-Atlantic. Boy. So yeah, they're making me hungry. Just
so much different than hot dogs and nachos.
Hot dogs, nachos, and pickles. And canned drinks.
Canned drinks
and a bag of chips.
Yeah, you get a bag of chips. And candy bars too. They had.
They did have candy bar.
Oh. Yeah. But it was always great to go to Trista's in those days after the shows, because I mean, if you were a pickle enthusiast like I am. As long as she did well in the concessions that night, if you were hanging out with her after the show, man, it was all the free pickles you wanted. So
I mean, this historically. I mean, Trista has been doing AIWF concessions since she's like 15, right?
Yeah.
Like it's been she's been doing it forever. It seems like. So.
Yeah, crock pot. Yeah, one crock pot with hot water in it for the hot dogs, another one with the cheese in it for the nachos. And then if the building had a refrigerator, the drinks would go in there. If not, there'd been a cooler ice down on the floor next to her. I mean, yeah. Come a long way.
Yep. But old days, but I do like the new concessions. So
yeah, and best thing about it is she's still got all that stuff she had back then in the food truck now. I walked up to her a couple of shows ago and was like, "Hey, Trista, you got any pickles in there?" And she was like, "Here you go." Gave me a full size Mount Olive kosher dill. Yeah. So it was garlicky, but it was delicious. So, but anyway.
I love a good pickle.
Yeah. I tell you what, if you really want to try to see how much you love pickles, Mount Olive makes something called large sour. And they're only available in certain supermarkets. You can get them in Lowe's Foods. And I can't remember where else I've seen them. Maybe Harris Teeter. But But I'm telling you, that's the pickliest pickle you've ever eaten in your life. It'll almost make your eyes roll back in your head. It's so sour. You're like, ooh. But I call them ain't beef kerosene cucumbers. But they are so good. But you better be a pickle enthusiast. Yeah.
There's a deli here in Winston that they do their subs on a pickle.
That's what I'm talking about.
I've heard it's really good. One of those big deli, so they kind of scoop out a little bit of it, but then they put the meat and everything and then put the pickle on top.
Oh, yeah, that's what's up. That's the way you do it.
And if you're watching carbs, that's a pretty decent way to cut carbs, I guess. Except for the sugar for the pickle.
When I worked at Family Dollar at the corporate headquarters down here, they had the same coolers they used for the stores in our break room, and I could put a pickle in there, and I'd take a pickle with some juice in a Ziploc bag and put it in my lunch bag, and by the time I came out for lunch 4 hours later, that thing would be so cold. Oh my God! One of my fondest memories of working at Family Dollar was eating my ham and cheese sandwich and eating a pickle in the break room. It was fresh out of that cooler.
My snack of choice as a child was a pickle spear with American cheese rolled around it.
Very interesting.
Yeah,
that has potential.
Yeah, try it. It will blow your socks off. It's really I had forgotten about it, to tell you the truth, until the pickle conversation started. But yeah, just a regular
memory unlocked.
Yes, just like one of those, just plain old pickles. Take it out the spear and just get a regular old piece of American cheese and just wrap it around it. Just chomp, chomp, chomp.
You know what's sad though? Mount Olive Pickle Company, the factory down in Mount Olive, does not do pickle tours anymore. If you visit the visitor centers, they'll show you a film about how they do things. I think you rummage around the gift shop, but just I don't want to go all the way to Mount Olive to watch a video. I mean,
no, that wouldn't be fun.
I'd be
put that shit on YouTube.
Yeah, I know. I'd be like, please take me out back. Let me see the brine tanks. Please, I don't even want you to open it. I just want to look at it. have my picture made with it.
Yeah, my grandpa drank pickle juice.
They sell it now.
I know, but he used to just.
I still do.
Yeah, I think it's a Tennessee thing. He's a Tennessee coal miner family, and that's where.
Okay.
No, I drink
what started for me was playing high school football. Our coach would have the big Gatorade deal of water, and instead of Gatorade in the other one, he would have pickle juice. You start to cramp up. You take a drink of pickle juice. I'm talking less than a minute. Cramps are gone.
Brian hates pickles.
I don't hate
pickles. I don't know. I think it's the only thing about him I don't like.
I don't hate pickles.
Rick Diesel hates pickles. He hates them with a passion. Rick Diesel. I heard him say that.
Pickles are great.
Okay. I mean, pickles are fine.
I know. See, I don't like sweet pickles. They have to be dill or sour.
Right. Bread and butter pickles are one of my favorite pickles.
Yeah, I can't do that.
What are you talking about? Because we're talking about pickles.
Yeah, we've been talking about pickles for 10 minutes.
Trying to end it? Oh, hey, about a pickle.
Get on pickle talk.
But this is what
get my keys. We're going down to Lowe's Foods. I know it's all the way in Harrisburg, but I want a jar of large sour. Oh, mercy. Yeah, we've talked about everything tonight. We started with a boxing scandal and ended on pickles. So,
somehow it came full circle.
You hear it all here. Oh, all right. So, you guys got anything else you'd like to say before?
No, just looking forward to the show coming up this Saturday. It's going to be great. Come check it out. It's going to be a great time.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you want to bring us some pickles, bring us some pickles.
Large sour, please. Large sour.
They need to be closed. I'm not going to take them if they're open.
Yeah, you can't even open up one and eat it on the way.
If I see a fingerprint inside the pickle jar, you can take it back.
Like, when in a Vacation, when the girl sticks her hand in the Kool-Aid and stirs it around.
All right. Before we get any further down this track, take it home, Bud.
Take it home.
Oh, don't forget the Raleigh wrestling thing is on Thursday night at 10 o'clock. Set your DVRs for
On
PBS.
PBS?
Yeah, PBS NC here in North Carolina. So if you're in the Charlotte area, not WTVI, not the local Charlotte PBS, you want to look for the Raleigh PBS NC. That's where that show is going to be on. So just
I
make
got to find out where I can watch.
because in this city it's confusing. We have two PBS stations. I've never lived in a place like that where there's two. There's the state version and then the city version, and they offer different programming. So all PBS shows, the children's programs are the same, but it's like, and they all ask you for money every time you watch, and I just don't know who to give the money to. Because anyway, it's a whole thing. Check it out. Thursday night on PBS. Set your DVRs. All right, fans, we'll be back with you next week. Hopefully Rick Diesel will join us, but I don't know. We'll see. But we'll have a lot to talk about after the big show on August 10th. Hope you join us. So, for Hall of Famers Stephen Hayes and Brian and Reagan Danzig, I am Mad Matt Carter. We'll see you next week, fans, and until next time, so long for now.